All right, standard deviation. Okay, so standard deviation is this. So suppose you have test scores, okay? And you found the average of the test scores to be, what, 82, okay? Now, there are two possibilities. One is if the average was an 82, right? One possibility is all of the other scores were like clumped to this 82. So on average, if you take somebody's test score, it's going to be pretty close to the 82, okay? Another possibility is the average is an 82, but everybody's test scores are like spread apart. You know, one got a 10, one got 100, whatever, right? So on average, if you took somebody's test score, it's going to be farther away from the average, okay? From the mean. That's called standard deviation, right? So it's basically, on average, how much does a random person's score differ from the mean, okay? Now, remember capital sigma, right? This is lowercase sigma, okay? So little sigma is standard deviation. And standard deviation has this amazingly beautiful formula, okay? So let's see what that is. Yeah. Okay, so here's what you do. What's x bar? What's x bar? What is? It's the mean, right? X bar is the mean. What's x? One of the values. No, you have to choose all. You have to do this for every single one. Okay? So you take each of the values minus the mean. You add up all those numbers because you've got a sigma here. You divide it by n minus 1. What's n? Number of values. Oh yes, you square it first. Then you take a square root, right? So, okay, it's a, you know, it's quite a process, but we're gonna do it. Sigma. It is. That's how it is. There's one formula for standard deviation. Yes. Sigma means sum. So we're gonna do x. So we're gonna find the mean. We're gonna take each test score, subtract the mean. Then we're gonna square it. Then you're gonna add up all of the numbers you squared. Then you're gonna divide by n minus 1. Then you're gonna take a square root. Yeah. Okay. So, so the value of the standard deviation is usually positive. So basically, it's never negative. Yeah, it's most often a decimal. It's never negative. Okay. When is it 0? When they're all the same number, they all equal the average, so there is no standard deviation. Okay. So when you have outliers, this outlier thing is huge. When you have outliers, the value of the standard deviation can increase dramatically. Okay? Because as you add the outliers, your average number is going to differ more and more from the average. Okay? All right. So let's do one. Okay? So here's the formula. Again, we're going to go step by step by step by step. And we're starting slow with only 5 data values. So first you need that x bar. So let's find the mean. X bar is 2 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12 plus 14. Over how many? 5. So that's 20, 32, 46. Over 5. So how much is the mean? 9.2. Okay, now we're going to do this part now. We're going to subtract each number minus the mean. Okay? So x minus x bar. So 2 minus 9.2, that's how much? You're sure? Okay. 8 minus 9.2. 10 minus 9.2. Is that 0.8? 12 minus 9.2. 2.8. 14 minus 9.2. 4.8. Yes? The sigma can't be a negative. These are okay. Now, we're going to square each of these numbers. Okay? When you're squaring a number, what will the sign turn out to be always? Positive, right? So if you square a negative number, you get a positive number. If you square a positive number, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 2. You have to put parentheses. So when I'm squaring these, can I just ignore the negative for the negative 7.2? I can totally ignore it. So 7.2 squared, 1.2 squared. Yeah. Okay, so suppose you're squaring negative 2, right? Negative 2 squared is like doing negative 2 times negative 2, right? And what's the sign going to come out to? Positive. So when you square a number, it always comes out positive. Okay? All right. So here, 7.2 squared is how much? And 1.2 squared? 23.04. Okay. Now that we squared, we're going to add them all. Okay? So 51.84, 1.44, 0.64, 7.84, 23.04. Anybody? Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Let's just see where we are in that cute little formula. So we just did this. We just added all of them. And now we're going to divide by what? N minus 1. Okay? So it's going to be, we're going to divide by n minus 1. So it's going to be 84.8 over, how many of these values were there? 5. So over 5 minus 1, this is 84.8 over 4, 21.2. Okay, we're almost there. Then we're going to take the square root of 21.2, 4.6, 1 decimal. Okay, so that is the standard deviation. What does that mean? On average, if you pick a data value, it will vary from the mean by about 4.6. Okay, it'll be about 4.6 apart from the mean. Okay, so that's standard deviation. It takes a while. It's not like conceptually difficult. It's just a long process. It is. You'll have your calculator with you, but you know, as long as you show me the work, it's fine. Okay, so let's find. I'm going to show you how to do these with a calculator, but then there will be somewhere like you want to show me the work. So here, let's do this one. Let's find x bar first. Okay? So that's 5 plus 9 plus 6 plus 3 plus 7 all over 5. That's 6, right? Is that right? Yeah. Now we're going to subtract x minus x bar. Okay? So we're going to get 6 minus 5, 6 minus 9, 6 minus 6, 6 minus 3, 6 minus 7. Okay, so what do we get? 1, negative 3, 0, 3, negative 1. Then we square all of them. So that's going to be 1. Oh, it's the same. Because you're going to square it, you get the same values. Okay? So 9, 0, 9, 1. I squared them all. Then what do I do? Add them all together. So that's going to be 1 plus 9 plus 1 plus 9. That's 20. Now I'm going to do what? Divide by n minus 1. Decimal. So that's going to be 20 over 4, and that's going to be a 5. And then the next step is take the square root of 5. How much is that? 2.2. So sigma is 2.2. Okay? You do a little loop and that tilde. Okay. So I'm gonna pause the recording. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to do this next one. Standard deviation. Go. Once you square, you're gonna add and then divide and take a square root, and sigma will end up as 3. Okay, so how do you do it on the calculator? Let me get out my calculator. So close that. The homework, okay. I want to minimize the repetitions. So we're gonna click stat. Okay, you can finish the other one on your own. That's fine. We're gonna click stat. Okay, and then edit. Press enter. Now, we're going to type in the data values into L1. So let's use the ones from here. We have 2.3, 4.7, 1.6. We're going to do the ones that we were just doing. The one right above that. Okay? So 1.6. 7.2, 9.4, 5.1. Okay? Now, you quit, so second quit. This is the home screen. Now, this time we're going to do second stats. Okay? And we're going to go over to the last column and click math. Now, what do we need to find? We want to find the standard deviation, right? So you click 7, which is standard deviation. And now it asks, you want the standard deviation of what? Well, I want the standard deviation of L1. How do you get L1? Pick stat. Huh? Click second stat. To go to the list, select L1, number 1, close, and that's the sigma. Okay? All right? 2.9, 1 decimal place. Okay? All right. So the homework is a handout. So this section 0.8, is going to be divided into like 3 different days of lessons. Because I want you guys to get all the basics before we do anything else. So this is handout number 1. It's on it'll be on haiku, and I'm going to hand it out now. It's due Friday.
Why does it not say handout number 1?
I forgot to change it yesterday. I changed it this morning. So due Friday. $4.28. Okay?